Okay, so today I have Nigel here who is playing the part of Jean, whose goal is to run a 5-kilometre race. So Jean has been doing an 8-week program and she's had a lot of success with it, and then she's come back obviously to up the ante a little bit. So Nigel is going to run through this session today. So we are going to start out with a warm-up. Okay, so we'll stand up, and all we're going to do is, for the purposes of this video, which I'm just going to push this up a little bit, we're just going to do one set of each, otherwise we'll be here all day. So first thing, we've got to just 10 butt kicks, so straight, heels touching your butt, core strong, just to wake ourselves up, get the heart rate up a bit. And then we're going to go straight into some high knees. So knees nice and high. Beautiful, core nice and strong. Okay, and the next one we're going to do is wide stance. And we're just going to bring opposite arm down to opposite foot. And just wake up those obliques, abdominals, and get our body moving. Just do 10 of those. Beautiful technique. Okay, and then, so we're going to be doing a lot of glute work today. We should probably get those glutes firing. So what we're going to do is just some crab walk, so a squat stance. Again, glutes nice and strong, abs nice and strong. And what I want you to do is 5 that way and 5 back this way. That's it, so little half steps. And that'll get those glutes warmed up and firing. And as mentioned before, we will do some more of these, but for the purposes of the video, we're just going to cut it down a bit. Beautiful. Okay, so because the goal with this workout is to be able to run 5 kilometres quite comfortably, and Jean has about 3 months, we're really going to focus on strength, speed, mobility, and stability. So the first exercise that we have is a sumo goblet squat. Okay, so I'm just going to go through this with you, demonstrate our sumo stance. So legs quite far apart, toes are out to the side. We're going to hold our dumbbell in front of us, core strong, glutes activated, and we're just going to go down really slowly for 1, just to a 90-degree angle. Make sure our shoulders are back, head's in a neutral position, and then straight back up again. And we're going to do 12 of those. Okay, so this will really work your adductor muscles. Okay. Nice and slow, perfect. Perfect, really squeezing through those glutes. 3. 4. How's that feel? Good. 6. Nice and slow. Make sure your abs are really switched on as well. So obviously you'll get a workout through your hamstrings, your quads, and all of those muscles as well, your calves, but we're mainly focusing the inside of the leg, the adductor muscles here. Yep. And we'll do 2 more of those. How does that weight feel?
Yeah, good. It's fine.
And 1 more. So the slower you go, the harder it will be. Perfect. Okay, so next one we're going to do is some box jumps. So box jumps are going to work every muscle in your legs. It will also come into play with your glutes, your obliques, your abdominals. Even your arms will get a bit of a workout with the propulsion. So the right technique that we want with the box jumps is feet hip width apart, and we really want to propel straight up onto the box. When we're up on the box, we need to make sure we've planted our feet really stable. We're standing straight up. You can either jump off or you can just step off, whichever you prefer. Okay. But again, really important to make sure those glutes are firing, your abdominals are firing, and really propel swell every muscle in your body up. You might do 10 of these. Perfect. Great, so feet are landing fully on the box. There's no heels overhanging. And I can see that Nigel's really working through the glutes. Abdominals are strong, really stabilising those hip joints and knee joints for her, so we don't want to get any injuries. Great form. And 8. And 9. This will get your heart rate raised as well. Okay, so working on this, obviously power and strength will help increase your speed too. Okay, so our box jumps. Next move that we're going to go into is a Russian twist. So we're going to come down to the ground and let your heart have a bit of a rest. I'm going to grab you a dumbbell. Probably, let's go with a 7 and see how we go from there. Okay, so I'll just demonstrate for you. So obviously we're coming down into the crunch position. Abdominals really switched on, glutes switched on. If you want to challenge yourself, you can raise your feet off the ground as well. It's completely up to you. But the aim is to keep our lower body nice and still, and we're really twisting through those oblique muscles. So we're in the transverse plane of motion here. And again, the slower you go, the harder it's going to be. There we go, we'll go through 12 of those, so six on each side. Okay, so core strong, great, feet in the right position, nice and slow, and twist around so you can really feel that twist getting into your oblique muscles. And just let me know at any stage if it does start to hurt your back.
Yep. How many on each?
Great technique. We'll do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Could you feel that?
Yep.
Through the abdominals and
Both
obliques?
sides, yep.
Fantastic. Okay, so next one we're going to come back up onto our feet. We're going to do some banded crab walks. We'll just grab a band and demonstrate that for you. Okay, so pop the band over our feet. We're going to bring it just above our knees. And what we want to do is have our knees hip width apart. We're going to go into the squat stance. Again, making sure our glutes are active, our abdominals are really switched on, and we're just going to take little half steps. Now the aim of this is for the band to always be pulled tight. We don't want the band to be going loose at any stage. And again, upper body, nice and still. Your abdominals are your stabilizer in this exercise, and they're going to make sure that your posture is correct. They're going to keep your hips in the correct position as well. And we're really going to be working, obviously through your legs, mainly your glutes will be the primary muscle used in this exercise, and you'll also get a bit of the adductors and abductors. That's it, so feet hip width apart, squat position, shoulders down, head in a neutral position. That's it, just little half steps. 4, 5, and then 5 back. Perfect. And again, like with all exercises, the slower you go, the harder it's going to be, the more intense you'll work.
Feel the band.
Yeah, well, a lot of runners don't do enough posterior chain work. So their glutes aren't strong enough, which means most of the load goes down the front of their body, which can really injure their knees. Perfect. Great technique, nice and strong. You can see Nigel's holding her upper body nice and still. Okay, now as I mentioned, posterior chain work, really important. A lot of people work the front of their body, forget about the posterior chain, especially parts like your erector spinae, your lats and everything. Your erector spinae literally hold your spine up and hold your glutes in place. And runners, really important to work the entire posterior chain, as I mentioned, so the weight isn't all down the front of their body, injuring their knees, their ankles, and lots of other things. So we're going to go into some Romanian deadlifts, and what we might use is just some dumbbells to do that. So I'm going to grab you another 5. Okay, so obviously you can do this with a barbell as well, but for today's purposes we're just going to use good old dumbbells. Okay, so demonstration. Feet hip width apart. We want to have our spine nice and neutral. We're going to pivot forward at the hip. We want to keep our legs straight but our knees soft. Okay, so the head should stay in a neutral position and just follow the natural movement of your body. And what we're going to do is we're going to lower to our knee, keeping our back straight, and back up. And when we come back up, really squeeze at the shoulders and at the glutes. And again, the slower we go, the more it's going to work. Okay, so this exercise will work the whole posterior chain. Great for the hamstrings, especially. Okay. All right, perfect foot positioning. Make sure your back is nice and flat. Perfect. So what we don't want to see in this movement is an arched back or an overextended back. And a little squeeze at the top. And we're going to do 10 of these ones. How does that weight feel?
Light.
We can increase
But
the
I
weight.
can feel that it's all about feeling that in the back of your leg, which I can.
Yeah, and keeping again your glutes really activated, your core activated. Your core is your stabilizer in this movement again, so it'll keep your help keep your posture correct. It'll protect your hips as well in this movement.
I can feel it in my hammies, I can feel it in my butt, and I can feel my core on.
Fantastic.
Working through the centre and my lower back.
Yeah, one of the big movements, this one, really important.
Yeah.
Might go 2 more. So our aim would be to, each time we do this, slowly increase the weight. Perfect technique. Well done. Okay, we're going to get our heart rate elevated again now. Obviously we want to run, so we need to look at the cardio aspect as well. So I've got plank jacks. So what we do with these ones, we assume the plank position. Making sure our core really strong, glutes are really strong, shoulders are elbows are directly under the shoulders, hands are straight out in front of you, neck is in a nice neutral position. And what we're going to do, while trying to keep our upper body as still as possible, we're going to jack out to the sides laterally. Okay, and we're going to do 12 of those. So this, great whole body workout because you're bringing your core, your obliques, your posterior chain, even your shoulders and arms should be getting a workout in this. Okay, so nice flat back, strong glutes, strong core, and off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. So if you keep those up for 3 sets, you'll get your heart rate going. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to come back into some leg work. So again, going back to the posterior, we're going to do some elevated heel squats. Oh, I shouldn't say posterior, actually, I should say anterior, my mistake. So by elevating our heels on a plate, rather than just a normal squat like this, we're going to step onto the front of the plate. Put that down. Step onto the front of the plate, that's going to elevate our heels. So the same position as a normal squat, but by elevating our heels, we're really going to emphasize our quads.
Okay.
So the rectus femoris, the vastus lateralis, vastus intermedius, and vastus medialis. Okay. And we're just going to come down to a 90 degree and up, really squeezing through the glutes at the top.
Yep.
But you will feel the emphasis of this movement is in the quads.
Okay, as opposed to doing it normal, like without that,
Yes.
I wouldn't feel it as much here.
No.
Okay.
So you'd feel it more in your glutes.
Yep.
As a normal squat.
Okay, yep.
Elevating our heels
Brings
it more
back
to
to
your
here.
quads.
Yep.
Yeah. And again, that's just as a runner, we need to make sure that we're strengthening the whole leg, not just certain parts of it.
So still hip width apart?
Yeah, hip width apart, that's correct.
So how far on do I go? Is that right?
Yep, so heels perfect.
Yep.
And then come down to a 90 degree angle. So core really strong. That's it, hold, and so we might do 1, 1, 1. So 1 down, 1 hold, and then 1 up. And again, we can increase the intensity of this by holding a dumbbell in front of you.
Yeah.
Can you feel that working more in the quads? And again, what this is doing, the reason why we're doing these elevated ones is to increase the range of motion through your knees.
Through my knees?
Yeah, which is really important for a runner. Beautiful, beautiful technique. Beautiful technique, okay. And then the last one that we have is a side plank hold, so an isometric contraction. So no movement, completely still. So we're going to come down onto the floor again, onto our side. Elbow directly under the shoulder, feet stacked on top of each other, and we're going to come up. You can raise your arm if you want to, if not, it's okay just to have it by your side. Core really straight. What we don't want to see is sagging through the middle, or leaning forward, or leaning back, or the head leaning. So nice and neutral position, completely straight, really great, again, overall body toning and strengthening exercise, but we're mainly focusing your obliques. So again, as a runner, a lot of people will work the abdominals and they'll work the posterior chain, but then they'll forget about your obliques, which you really need that strength.
Yeah.
Otherwise your abdominals are taking all of the load. And what we're going to do is we're going to hold both sides for 30 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, yep, so elbow directly under shoulder.
Yep.
Legs stretched out. Make sure those glutes are switched on, those abdominals are really switched on. And I'm timing you. So this is an isometric contraction, which basically means you're working, you're completely still,
yep,
but you're working.
Yep. Oh yes. I can feel that.
And again, when you are ready for it, you can increase this by either lifting a leg or holding a dumbbell up in your arm.
Okay. Yep.
There's lots of variations that you can go through as your strength increases. But never increase if it's going to compromise the technique. Okay. Okay, switch over to the other side. Perfect technique. Okay, shoulder. Yep, shoulder directly over the elbow. Body in a nice straight line. Heels stacked. Neck in a nice neutral position. And abdominals and glutes really activated. Perfect. Okay, for 30 seconds again. This is probably easy for you, Nigel.
I do a lot of planking.
But we're Jean today, so we're Jean today.
I love planks. Planks are brilliant.
I know, perfect technique. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're done. So that concludes the workout component. So obviously that would be 3 sets of 12 reps of each exercise. The box jumps, maybe I would only do, I think 10, just because they are quite explosive and they're a full body exercise, so we might lower those down a little bit. Okay, we're going to go into a cool down now and then get into our stretches. So cool down movements, first of all we're just going to go, again really stretching out our legs, just side to side, and you feel that really down your adductor muscles because we did a lot of work with those today.
So just keep moving.
Yep, just keep moving, so perfect, just make sure that technique's fine.
So,
yep, perfect. Yep, wide stance, and knees just over the toe, so we don't want the knee going further out than the toe. Just enough that you can feel that stretch really down the adductor muscles. Great. And the next one that we have are just some shoulder rolls. So we're just going to feet hip width apart. Oh, and I'm just going to fix the camera up. I need a cameraman. And we're just going to down. And just keep your knees soft, neck in a nice neutral position. And it's just stretching out our back, shoulders. You can feel it a little bit down into your hips as well. Loosening everything up. And next we're going to go into some hip circles, so really getting into those hip flexors. So same position as the shoulder rolls, and we're just going to slowly work the hips around. And then back the opposite way. Beautiful. And last but not least, sumo position, and we're just going to do a sway. Again, just working into those legs. Loosening it all up. Okay, bringing that heart rate down. Stretching those muscles back out. And we're going to go into some static stretching now. Really stretch those muscles back out. Okay, so because we've done a lot of quad, hamstring, glute, calf work, we're first of all going to go into a kneeling position. Just fix this camera up again. And we're going to take our leg out in front of us. Again, we don't want our knee going further over our toe. We're going to push our hips forward so we can really feel that stretch down the front of the quads and into the hip flexor. And to increase that stretch through the hip flexor, you can bring your arm up and over. We're going to hold this for 10 seconds. Okay, can you really feel that down?
yeah.
Forwards?
Yeah, you have tight hips.
Yeah, a lot of
Like most people do.
A lot of people have tight hips.
Yeah.
Again, especially for runners, we don't want any hip injuries. We need our hip joints and our knee joints to be working together, taking an equal load. Okay, and then what I want you to do from that position is pull straight back into a calf stretch. So you can hold the ground for stability, flex your foot at the front there, and you'll feel that stretch up through your calf and your hamstring. Hold that one for 10 to 20 seconds. Okay, then we'll flip over and we'll repeat that process on the other side. So, perfect. Hip flexor and quad stretch. And then adding that arm in to increase the hip flexor stretch. Great technique. You can see Nigel's nice and steady, nice and balanced, feet are in the right position. Perfect, and then pulling back into that calf and hamstring stretch. You feel that one?
Mm-hmm.
Great. have is called the pigeon stretch. Now this is quite a deep stretch, so please let me know if it's too much for you. Yep. So what we do is we bring our foot right out in front of us, back leg straight, and you don't need to lean down too far, just as far enough so you can actually feel the stretch. And again, I can really feel that through my glutes. I can feel it down in my abductor muscles, I can feel it in my quads, the adductor muscles. So only go down as far as what you can feel. I don't want you to, again, get any injuries. So bringing one leg up in front of you. Leaving neck nice and neutral, shoulders relaxed. Just far enough that you can feel that stretch. Okay, really important for stretching, obviously for flexibility, range of motion, to decrease injury, to decrease soreness after a workout as well, to stop the blood pooling. Fantastic, and then we'll repeat that stretch on the opposite side. Okay. Great technique. Perfect technique. And hold that for another 5 seconds. Perfect. Okay, and the last stretch that we have, we're just going to go into a bit of a abdominal stretch and back stretch, because we've also done a lot of work there. So this is called our cat-cow. So hands directly underneath your shoulders, knees under your hips, and what we're going to do is arch our back up, drop the head, really feel that stretch, obviously through the lats, through the traps, and then we're going to go the opposite direction and really feel that stretch, opening up our abdominal muscles. Okay. Yep, so knees directly under hips, hands directly under your shoulders, nice neutral spine. You should feel that stretch all down the back, erector spinae, through the traps, through the latissimus dorsi, and then into the abdominal stretch, really opening up those abdominals and lengthening them back out to the length that they were before we started working them. Beautiful. And then after this, I would suggest foam rolling, especially the legs, especially the hammies, the hips and the quads, and then going into the back, all up through the latissimus dorsi. Okay, and that's it. That's our program done. Hope you enjoy.